cinema trailer news. This is my final prediction for the season finale of Loki, episode 6. Now, there will be some potential spoilers in this video and some really spoilers. So especially if you haven't seen Black Widow yet, so I recommend you watch that first and then come back here. Otherwise, you can also stay and watch. So let's get into it. Now, I've seen many people comparing this to the WandaVision Mephisto situation, but I don't see it that way, because in WandaVision, Mephisto, there was not really clear reference or something really big that indicates that Mephisto was going to appear as the big villain in the show. It was some reference in dialogue, but there was not. But they were not direct to Mephisto. Now I can see this more like the Agatha situation, because from the first episode of WandaVision we seen that something is weird about Agatha, the character, and she did have the pen from the comics, and there was some mystery, and we all think that she's clearly Agatha Harkness, and that's who she was, Agatha all along. And some people didn't believe that because it was way too obvious. Now I can see something like that happening here, like people thinking that it's not Ken or maybe King Loki, because those two are way too obvious. But now I think it could be Ken, because there are way too many direct things, reference, indicating that yes, that's a direct connection to Kang the Conqueror. Now, first of all, we know who's playing Kang, and that is Jonathan Majors. And he was reportedly cast by last year, and I believe when the announcement came, this Loki series hasn't been finished filming, so if he's going to appear in this final episode for a few minutes, so he could have filmed all of his scenes in maybe a couple of days. So we'll see. Now we also have Ravonna Renslayer. Now she's the judge, but she's in the comments she's a love interest for Ken, and I don't know, I don't really trust her, and maybe she's telling the truth of she doesn't know who is behind the TVA, who's really controlling the TVA. And I can see discovering she discovered that maybe it's Ken, and she don't see him as a villain because she really believe in the TVA, Verona. She believed that the TVA, what she's doing is right. So maybe she helps Cam. So that would be really interesting to see. Now we have her. That's a real clear indication that it could be Kane. The other thing is Elia, the big cloud master from last week episode. That's in the comments that Elia was, I believe it was a threat to Kane's empire. So maybe in the show it was more, Elia was more like a security system on some kind for Kane, and maybe Kane is living on that castle. So earlier a clear indication to Kane. Now Kane is a time travel villain, so we know that when Loki and Sylvie in last week episode defeated Elia, the Clown Master, and then we see the opening shot there and shows up a castle, and that castle is at the end of time. So what better place to hide or stay hidden than at the end of time? And for a time travel villain like Ken, that makes sense. And we also have the Kane Tower that it was originally. It was the tower of Tony Stark, and he sells the tower to Ken, but at that time he didn't know that he was selling the tower to Ken the Conqueror, and that's from the comments, but that's a clear indication of Ken. Especially last week episodes, there were way too many indications that Ken. So let's see. I hope it's Ken, because it would be awesome to see Jonathan Majors on screen. Now I can see that it's a possibility, because after watching Black Widow, the end credit scenes, we see Val, Contessa Valentina, recruiting Yelena Belova for a mission to go and hunt down Clint Barton, Hawkeye, because he was responsible for Natasha's death in Endgame. Now, the big thing here is that was an end credit scene in a movie, and that is setting up the Hawkeye series. And Yelena Belova will be in the Hawkeye series, and maybe Contessa Valentina also. And I can see the other way around. Maybe in the Loki season finale, we see Ken but maybe it's not really Jonathan's Majors Ken. Maybe it's a variant of Ken. And Loki and Sylvie defeat that variant. And by the end of the episode, we see an end credit scene, and we see Jonathan Majors as Ken, as the real Ken. And that would be setting up Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So it would be like an end credit scene in a series setting up a story for a movie. So I can see that. So there's also King Loki. Now that there are not so many reference or some kind that would be a King Loki, but it seems obvious also. It seems likely because this whole show is centered on Loki and variants, and we seen the other Loki variants and all of that. So from a story perspective, I can see that happening, and like, okay, so it was Loki the whole time. Well, that makes sense. So clearly, King Loki and Ken are the more likely to be. Now maybe Marvel will surprise us. Kevin Feige, he always wants to surprise the fans. Now, King Loki was better for casual fans, casual viewers of this show, because the whole show is focusing on Loki. Now, if it would be if we if Ken was the villain, I don't know. It could also happen, and it's all about how you write the story and the character. But fans, Marvel fans, were like, yes, Ken. But people who don't know Ken or doesn't read the comics or like that, most people. So that will be like a big deal. So it would be interesting to see which route they will go. Can King Loki or maybe another one? Like in the comics, the one who create the timekeepers. I believe he's called the One Who Remains. He was the first agent, time travel agent of the TVA. And maybe it's Mobius, another version of a Mobius, maybe a variant. But I don't know, that would be like a really big deal. I think that a King Loki or Ken would be more beneficial for this show. Now they can it's all there are also possibilities like Survey or another variant of Survey, something like that. But I uh, I don't know how would that work exactly. giving the context of the show, and we only have one episode, and that will be like maybe 45 to 50 minutes long. So we will see, or maybe it's Miss Minnie, but I don't think that Miss Minnie's. I know she knows something, and I think she knows who's behind the TVA and all of that, because she she helps Renslayer, and I think she helps Renslayer because Renslayer, she wants to know who's really running the TVA, but she doesn't. She just want to like know who really is, and understand all of that. I don't see her as like the hero. Maybe she will be by the season finale, but I don't think so. I think Miss Minutes could be somehow involved in these in the season finale with the villain. I they will. I'm starting to link more of the side of Ken. I hope it's Ken, but if Kim Loki, I will be good. But it's not. But if it's not Ken or King Loki, well, that would be a interesting surprise. So let's see what happens. So let me know your theories of who will be the big villain of the season finale of Loki. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and have a great day, and I'll see you guys later, and thank you for watching.